The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
This song's 2 minutes. All your attention span has. Kids are dumbed down by Vine vids and Instagram tags. I'm here to wake you up. Stop walking around zombified. Our existence is compromised, modified to sleep like sheep prophesied. So we're colonized until we're fossilized, personified to not think, so you get a college degree. But see, you are still unqualified. The food you eat is non-aligned, your third eye is colorblind. Don't think like me, I just want you to think. Eventually you'll fill up just like a cup in the sink. While I mind fuck you with knowledge, don't process it now. It'll grow in you later, lost in thought in the clouds.
Welcome back to the Not Televised Revolution, the only show on the internet that just called to say I love you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, which is why I'm opening today's show with a very important public service announcement. If you're a man about to go on a date, it is very important that you remember these 3 steps. Brush your teeth, wash your face, and wash your balls, just in case. I can't believe I pulled it off. Oh,
you held it together. You held it together just long enough. You almost lost it there. You did. You almost lost it there.
That joke is so funny. And true.
Man, that's the only show on the internet that doesn't have to take out 2 ribs to toot its own horn. That was my whole shtick, and that was awesome. That was awesome.
I didn't quite get your joke. Can you explain it? Can you expound on it? And keep the mic close.
No, it's slightly dirty. I'm not gonna get into the process of how I would toot my own horn by removing 2 ribs, but I'm told that it can be done.
Yes, we have heard the myth of Marilyn Manson undergoing such a procedure.
I'm told that it can be done. Can you expound upon this? No, sir, I don't think I can.
I don't have the right kind of insurance. See, that's why one of our long-running jokes is and always will be: we tickle you with our fun-loving nature, and then we nearly murder you with the news.
Yeah. We got some particularly crushing news today, which is awesome. But it's awesome for me because I just, I can't. I'm not going to.
It's because you called it and you know it.
Yes, I did. I saw this stuff coming. To be honest, I saw it coming 18 months ago. I started tooting the alarm 2 months ago. That has a lot to do with why I'm here doing this show at all, is to say that this is coming, this is what's about to happen, and frickin' because I was really sure of it, and so if we can go to my first link here, I can sort of lay down what went down over the last.
All I have is a picture and links to ads. There's another button I need to hit.
Yeah, it's Fed cuts interest rate for the first time since 2008.
You don't know what's on my screen right now. I want to click to indulge. Okay. If I think I have to log in. It says I'm in private mode. Is there a paywall for this New York Times article?
I don't believe so. I don't.
You pay for the New York Times? Fucking shit. All right. Well, just fuck. Just read it out while I have something else on the screen. Here we go.
All right. It's really not that big of a deal. The point is that the Federal Reserve, at what seemed like a strong, or at least what they continued to say was a strong economy, cut interest rates, which is a really big indicator that they see something that we don't. Now, what was that they were seeing was this the second link. Let me just move on beyond there. The second link that excuse me, the third link, the overlooked one,
Yeah,
was the
you're
bond
slightly
yields.
hot.
The bond yields. Now, okay, so when you cut interest rates, what you're doing is you're cutting back how much you're going to be paid back, or how much the bank is going to be paid back on the loan. But in the case of a bond, when you buy a government bond, you are in essence the bank. You are loaning your money to the government. And so when the government,
Yep.
well, actually the Federal Reserve, cuts the interest rates back and how much you're actually going to get back from that bond, people tend to stop buying bonds. Now,
That was a good way to put it. I wanna make sure that this stays economics for dummies, because the same thing that happens when you buy bonds, it's like you're investing in America itself, and when you put your money in the bank, you're investing in yourself, and those interest rates apply to both. Am I correct?
When you put money in the bank, you do get interest back, but usually you get a slightly better yields out of bonds. But when the Fed cuts when they cut the interest rates, but the difference between a bond and the bank is that you can go to the bank and collect your money at any time, whereas a bond matures on a set date, and this is how much money you're going to get back based on the interest rates during the time that it's there. You've got a pretty good estimate of what that's going to be. Like 20-year bonds and so on and so forth. Those are there for the long haul. They're gonna be there for a minute. However, any of those bonds that mature right now are going to be mature, that mature at this point are going to be maturing at a lower interest rate than before. Now that's why we try to keep interest rates high, is because people that buy bonds, typically really rich people, get really good yields by investing directly into the economy, by putting it into the government hands. But we don't want to do that anymore, really. So we want more money to be in private hands. I'm saying this intellectually, like we as the United States, we've been shifting a lot of our money into private hands. That's kind of all of our policies are about getting the money out of the hands of government, putting it into private hands in every aspect that you can. Everywhere you look, money's coming out of public hands and into private ones. We feel that they're more efficient. We can talk about that on an intellectual level, but that's what's going on. That's why we're doing it. We're trying to pull as much out of the private or public sector as we possibly can. And so therefore, bonds are
just to make sure that what you're saying makes sense to everybody else. Things like privatizing prisons, privatizing the construction of roads,
military. Those are aspects of it as well. But discouraging investment in this way is another way of doing it. Selling NASA off, or at least the vast majority of their assets, was another way of doing it. There's a lot of different ways in which we privatize money, privatize capital.
Okay, so for our conservative...
Tax cuts are a good example of it too. Anyway, so now we all know about the tariffs and the tit for tat that we've been doing with China for the last little while, and our allies in Europe have these negative yielding bonds. Their interest rates are actually like getting below zero, and it's happened twice. It's probably going to happen again, which means that if you invest in the government in Europe, you're going to be getting back less money than you put in, which most people don't like doing that, so they aren't going to do that, and that's kind of its own set of problems. But they're trying to stimulate the economy by increasing the amount of loans that are actually being lent, money that's being lent out, because that sometimes can, if you're putting out a lot of money out there, then it starts trying to bounce around. But what's been going on is it bounces and bounces and bounces, and then suddenly it gets vacuumed upward somehow, and it's got its way to end up in Bezos' hands or any of those four guys up there on top.
Right. So we were talking a few episodes ago about how the way our economy works at the moment is like it just kind of won't function without rich people. Is that kind of what you're saying?
It's not functioning really at all because like it's not functioning without China. We just started a war with China. This is what's going on. So we just started this trade war with China. And because we started this trade war with China, well, we're the biggest buyers in the world and they're the biggest sellers. It's not in their interest for them to start trouble with us. So we really got to push these guys around a lot and try to for them to try to stand up to us, because we're the world's biggest buyers and they're the world's biggest sellers. It seems like we're a match made in heaven. Well, so the reason why our economy is, and I put this in quotations, doing well, is because our currency is still strong. And our currency being strong means that American workers have a lot of buying power on the international stage, even though we don't really have a lot of buying power locally. But theoretically, we do have a lot of buying power in the world comparatively to a lot of other countries.
Well said.
However, when our currency, so the world's biggest sellers don't want to sell to us anymore, so they're trying to look for other markets. So what they did during this trade war is they cut back the value of their currency. So in effect, what they did to the entire world is they dropped their prices, and they said, we'll sell to anybody. And everybody has come along and they said, okay, we'll buy. And so China said, well, we don't really need you anymore. When they dropped their currency, the whole world realized that the world's biggest seller isn't going to be doing what it was, because the world's biggest buyer doesn't want to buy from them anymore. And then and the world's biggest seller, at least at the moment, isn't willing to do business with them anymore. They just said, okay, fuck you. And when that happened, yeah, our currency got really, really valuable, but China won't take it. And if they do, we have to pay our own government a 40% tax on it, just because Trump wanted to.
And I feel it's really important to note that the only people hurt by tariffs are consumers. It's not the government. It's the consumers. It's the average person.
It's the consumers every time. That's not. It's not gonna help anything. Tariffs weren't gonna help anything. Mercantilism is dead. It has been for a long time. Get with the times, yo. But
yeah, like 3 centuries. Something.
What?
I want to say like about 3 centuries.
Just about, yeah. Right at about 3 centuries, 300 years ago or so. Yeah. Anyway, like we don't do that anymore because it doesn't really help. What it does is it gives the rich people in control of the government. At the time, they were the lords and everything like that. What it did was it gave those people a lot of money, and that was a representation of a lot of power. But right now, all it's doing is undoing global trade change and undoing business. Like, if this continues for a long time, companies don't like change very much. So, like, say they were buying semiconductors from us, and then they went to India to buy semiconductors because they couldn't get semiconductors from us anymore. Well, when we stopped being dumbasses and we stopped being freaking little babies about everything and starting to want to invest in at home a little bit and try to compete with these other economies other than trying to be a banana republic like Congo or something like that, because that's how our government acts. If we were trying to invest it at home and trying to compete with these other businesses in these 21st century economies, then we might be getting somewhere, but we aren't. We're just saying, well, we've got the biggest guns, so we get our way, and we want everything. We want our cake and eat it too, and the rest of the world's like, well, I think I got a pretty big gun myself, man, so I think I'm going to call your bluff.
Oh, fuck no. Building-wide fire alarm.
Wonderful.
All right, this is a great time to bring video editing to the Not Televised Revolution. I will put a little bit of power to the people in here.
It's okay. Right before your fire alarm started, that was a pretty good place to end it. The whole rest of the
I knew
world
we
said
were
it's
about
a
to
good
shift.
time to call your bluff.
Yeah, okay. Now I have to do it.
So just
I'm sure.
it right there.
I'm sure that guy
I'll be happy with it.
I'm sure that guy legitimately loves you, like as much as you love him. Like he's on our show now. So we'll be right back after a quick break from Power to the People. And cigarette outside with the neighbors.
As you see your news feed and you conform, our nation's been divided over flags and blue uniforms. Let me bleed through and teach you that this hue of orange is programmed perspective. Unicorns. This is a mix of truth and insanity of people like me fighting to wake humanity up. Considered crazy, but the planet needs us. Otherwise these retards will erratically lead us to catastrophe. My mentality's stuck on the fact that we can't agree our anatomy's one. The academies come to teach the human form doesn't exist. Like the spoon, the truth comes from within. Know thyself, understand what you're capable of.
Welcome back to the Not Televised Revolution. We just had what appears to be someone pulling the fire alarm for a medical emergency. A little bit less fake than usual in this building.
Well, that's better than just pulling the fire alarm for shits and grins, I guess.
I guess.
I don't know. I guess.
So,
get all the neighbors involved.
Right, get all the neighbors involved. So, I just wanted to wrap the last segment just real quick by saying what this means is that the U.S. dollar is losing value. Is that the most simpleton way to put it?
Actually, well, in the long run, yes, but for the moment, it's actually gaining strength, which means that our products are more costly than any other products in the world. And because we don't really produce a whole lot, because of the fact that we were already trying to devalue our currency. That's what quantitative easing's about. And but China has a real good lever to just do that, and so they just did it, and they kind of beat us to the punch, and so now we're kind of mad about it because they cut their price before we could, and so like in a competitive semiconductor market, when they cut their price, their competitors look less valuable. Our products become less attractive, and that hurts us because then we produce fewer of them. There are fewer jobs, even though most of those jobs are still Chinese. So a lot of those are still based here in the United States with American companies. So, like our own tech industry is going to take a pretty big hit. And that's going to hurt us because there's going to be a lot less money floating around, and that means that a lot of our capital is going to go overseas. And in the long run, that means that our dollar is going to be less stable, which means means that it's going to be a less valued store of value, which means that people start selling off the dollar, and that will depreciate its value in a way that I don't think we haven't seen in my lifetime. Last time we saw something like that was in the 70s.
Well, I think I can build a transition off of that, because speaking of the dollar, we got a rich person that is supposedly dead, supposedly by suicide, that just made his money off of the fact that money exists.
I don't know.
Don't want to talk about this because everyone else is. This is not our usual style. But
no, this really isn't. This really isn't our usual style. But
we hate this stuff. We hate it. You're a dad, and I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
So, holy crap, we are mad.
I have my own reasons, but there's so much that
I know
we should have known.
Here, I'm gonna look it up on OpenShot or Overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look it up on Overlooked together.
That's a good idea.
Another New York Times. I was able to give people a glimpse behind the paywall while we were talking just then.
Yeah.
If you pause the video, you can see some of the New York Times stuff. Don't send me New York Times links anymore. I'm not paying for that business.
My bad. I didn't. I don't pay them anything. For some reason, they like me having their news. I think that scares me even a little more, to be honest.
Weird and wild stuff.
I know, that is weird. I don't know, but I just, the only reason that I sent that is because, New York Times, Washington Post, those are the
supposed reliable sources.
It's not that. Those are the newspapers of record.
Yeah.
Which means that when, the day that, as opposed to it coming out in the Rumosphere, which is a legitimate place to get freaking information, particularly in the economics. But before it, when it comes out there and everybody's talking about what this guy might say on the day that he comes out and actually talks, the paper of record will tell you the date in which they actually cut the interest rate, which was just a week ago.
Okay.
It was on the 5th, and that was the whole reason why I wanted to say it, is because they cut the interest rate on the 5th, which is them devaluing our currency. See? And then
so China devaluated our currency
because they have their own label. They have their own way of doing that. They have a system set up in a completely different way. They just say, oh, okay, well, our currency's devalued now. It's real easy for them to do it. I haven't gotten too far into Chinese economics, but I do know on the macro scale, whenever China says that their currency means blank, that's what it means.
All right, so we have to cover this. This is not our usual style.
Yes, sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm not really finding much on Overlooked. I'm going to go to Ecosia.
Yeah, me either, except that he liked chirogenics and eugenics.
So I'm switching to Ecosia.
Okay. That's a good idea.
I wish we could get a sponsorship from them. We sure brag about them. All right, Daily Wire. Both Trump and Clinton went to Jeffrey Epstein's sex slave, yada yada. Just something to have in the background while we talk about this.
Yeah. That is that's it right there. That's all you need to know. That's why he's dead. That was why he got the cherry deal. That was why he was still alive. That's why he had all of his money. That's all of it. That's everything you need to know about Epstein right there. To be
Right.
honest,
This is actually a pretty easy story to cover because
it really is.
nobody believes that he committed suicide. Nobody.
Nobody. No.
I
There's
don't
no
think
way, and
anybody
they don't
does.
have any. Like, you're gonna have to show me that freaking. You're gonna have to show me that freaking video, since I know it exists. And
Right.
like, I don't know, man. And I mean, it's not. I guess I don't know. Even that's kind. But even saying that's kind of sick, isn't it? Like, it just the fact that I don't know, man. Like the fact that I can't freaking. I actually would rather watch a person off themselves than believe the narrative. That's kind of a interesting idea, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, no, the media environment has gotten so sick, we'd appreciate video of a suicide. It's,
Yeah,
it's
we
gone
would
pretty
actually
far.
appreciate it. Maybe not all of us would watch it, but the fact that it was out there and everybody saw it would be enough to calm at least a lot of people's minds. But yeah, I would not. I don't know. That's kind of a like that's kind of a statement in and of itself.
Don't we have a video of a body rolling out? I haven't really dug for this yet, but I've heard people saying that maybe that's not his body.
I don't know. Like there. You see, that's the thing about this story. Anything is literally possible. Literally anything is possible at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, strangely enough, him offing himself in that freaking jail cell is not all that implausible either. Like,
No, I don't disagree.
I'm just saying, like, literally anything is possible. That's the thing. Like, I mean, but the thing is in my opinion, right? Like, all we're talking about is the suicide. We're not actually talking about the documents that came out that day. That day, right? Freaking that particular day, there were documents that came out that tied him to Prince William, that tied him to, I believe, Bezos, tied him to a whole bunch of different governors, just a whole bunch of people, like a lot of people. People you would be really kind of surprised. Household names. I mean, like, aside from the ones that we all already know, like Clinton and Trump and that crew, like other people. There were some really surprising names on it. Like, I don't want to slander anybody, so I'm gonna actually look it up.
Well, I do want to bring up what people call the hashtag Clinton body count. I found a meme yesterday that said no one has 56 friends that committed suicide, no matter who you are.
I can kind of
There's
agree with
something to be
that.
said about that.
I mean, there really isn't. Well, I mean, okay. I know of two people that have 56 friends that have committed suicide, but I can't, unless you do that for a living, make friends with suicidal people to, like, you know, or you're a psychiatrist. But lawyers? I don't know. I have to admit that does feel kind of, it does feel kind of weird, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to find an image of his actual dead body, and it's not coming up.
Oh, I doubt you'll find that. We've got to be respectful to the survivors or something, right?
Hmm.
Okay, here we go. Unsealed records. This was just unsealed court documents contain explosive allegations against a former governor, former senator, a prince, and a powerful modeling agent.
All right. Hit me up on Discord.
Yeah, it's the Rolling Stone. Is that okay?
Of
We got a
course.
paywall there.
Yeah, they
maybe
interviewed
it's-
me, so they're cool with me.
They're cool with you. Okay. There you go. Yeah, this was literally the night before he was found.
All right, I'll do some reading here.
Yeah, according to the 72-page document, the Madam Maxwell alleges that she was forced to have sex not with just of Epstein, but a slew of other powerful men. The men named in the court documents include Prince Andrew, Bill Richardson, Glenn Dublin, George Mitchell.
Here, I got this.
Jean Luke Barrel, and also contains allegations against another prince and a former president who are anonymous.
So I was watching Kim Iverson. Thank God. Wow. Thank you, brain. She posits that the former president is a French president because presidents aren't that common in countries, in powerful countries. So she thinks it was a French president, which Kim Iverson is amazing. Check her out.
I like her work. It's possible that it's a French president. There are a few other places that it could be as well. But yeah, it's possible that it isn't one of our own. That's possible.
While a few of these names, including Prince Andrew, have appeared in court filings before, most of these men have not been named at all in relation to Epstein. None of the men named in the documents have been charged with any crimes. That's kind of interesting. The new allegations surfaced as a result of a U.S. Court of Appeals decision on July 3rd to unseal the summary judgment materials associated with Giffrey's defamation lawsuit against Maxwell. Giffrey, whoever that is, filed the suit after Maxwell publicly denied Giffrey's allegations that she helped. Okay. Giffrey is the madam.
That's what I was trying to say.
Giffrey is the madam, okay. She helped procure young women to give erotic massages and provide sex to Epstein and other powerful men in his network. The lawsuit was settled under confidential terms in 2017. And that's not even the first time. This guy's been under fire for a very, very long time. So
this particular lawsuit was actually against one of his friends, the lady that's pictured in that photo.
You mean Giffrey?
No, her name is actually Maxwell. She's the madam.
Oh, okay. Who's Giffrey then?
Giffrey was the accuser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Got it kind of backwards.
Yeah, you did. It's fine. It's cool. It'll be fine.
We'll just play it back in reverse. It's cool.
Yeah, play it back in reverse, and I promise you, it won't be telling you bad things to do to your cat.
It certainly won't be televised, that's for sure.
That's true. Anyway, Maxwell apparently, from what I understand, was an ex-lover of his that ran around and got all these chickadees for him, and she's been accused of it multiple times in lawsuits. That particular one was settled out of court. They all are. I'm sure that he's settled several lawsuits out of court for exactly this, that are totally sealed. But yeah, this You know, the one thing that could be a bright side about all of this, and so even if the guy is alive, okay, and he takes off, I don't want him found. If the guy's alive and he takes off, I don't want him found. Because the only person on the planet that has any standing to stop anybody from looking into anything that has to do with what he was doing with his thing was him. So the only thing that's standing in the way of figuring out, getting to the bottom of that, was that guy. And now that he's out of the way, no matter how it's done, I'm okay with that. Did you hear me?
I listened to you, and I heard the words coming out of your mouth, but I didn't hear you, if you know what I mean. I don't get what you're saying.
He wasn't alone. I don't think... I
Of
really
course
do
not.
believe
And that's
that
where I want to go next. Like, who...
and that's the point. The only person standing in the way of all of those filings and all of that court documentation and all of those cases, the only person that was standing in the way of that was that guy. Because he was the only person that has the legal standing to stop anybody. Since he's dead, he no longer has a Fourth Amendment right, so we can search the shit out of him.
Okay, so...
Does that make sense now?
No, it doesn't. How does he have the legal standing to stop people? Okay, actually, yeah, now I get it. So,
Because it belongs to him. It's his property. He has a Fourth Amendment right to illegal search and seizure, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. He can stand in the way of any investigation, stopping all the paperwork from getting moved around so that the right people get at the right freaking paperwork. Now that he's out of the way and his attorneys can't argue on his behalf anymore because he doesn't have a behalf. He doesn't care. He's dead. See what I'm saying? His attorneys can no longer argue on his behalf anymore that he has a Fourth Amendment right. So all of this paperwork, all of these sealed, are just easily, like through the waving of a magic gavel, openable. And all of that information can be gotten to the bottom of.
So who do you think was actually paying Jeffrey Epstein? Because as Kim Iverson said, and I will put it in the description, it doesn't appear that he was doing this for money. It appears that he was doing this for power at the behest of other powerful people. And a very popular theory is it was Israel. The state of Israel. Not Israelis, but the state.
I can see that. He had a Saudi passport, though, just to throw it out there.
Okay.
The passport that was there with the fake name on it was Saudi in origin. However, of course, like, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, here. I mean, if you're doing black ops, you're not going to be like, here's my back door. Why don't you come show up? This is us. I'm going to put my stamp on it. I get where you're coming from, but he could have definitely been an intelligence asset. That's a good theory. In my personal opinion,
No, I heard it from multiple sources that during one of his earlier cases, like a few years ago, he was let off because he's intelligent.
He said that he was some sort of intelligent asset. I heard that as well. I wouldn't be too surprised. I would be at all. Honestly, I would not be very surprised about that at all. However, and this is kind of even this is kind of the way that I see the world. If a guy gets a couple bucks, right, and he gets into the right room with a couple of bucks, he can pretty much make, and you know, a good smile and so on and so forth.
It's hard to hear you.
If a guy gets a couple of bucks and he's trying to, and he gets into the right room, and he's able to just, you know, sort of flash and dash and dance a dance and look right to the right people, you know, he'll end up anywhere. You see, I don't think we need the intelligence agencies to create a monster like this. Warren Buffett started with $5,000. He could have actually invested, made a little bit of money, got a little bit of money. Because of that, he got into the right room with the right guy, got the right blackmail on him, and this is what I honestly think he was doing. Got all of these powerful people to his frickin' mansion out in the middle of the ocean, get him to screw a frickin' underage girl on camera, which it was said that his house was wired up for that kind of shit, and get him on tape doing that, and then you got him by the balls. And, you know, what's money at that point?
Right. Yeah, you can get a lot better deals. You can't always pay someone to do something, but you can bribe them. Something Kim said.
You can bribe them, or you can bribe them if that's what it takes. But then, you know, if you're not getting what you want out of them, at that point you can sort of blackmail them. Be like, well, listen, this is what's about to go down, because otherwise, you know, I got this tape of you screwing that 13-year-old girl.
All right. I'm not sure how much I'm covering this story. More like my stomach can handle.
I get it. I'm just saying, like,
it makes me so fucking mad.
I'm just saying, we don't really need an overarching enemy or bad guy necessarily for this kind of monster to exist. Our system lends well to this kind of monster. And I'm not 100% convinced that we need Israel or Saudi Arabia or anything else. This guy
could just be the IMF or something, right?
This guy could have come right off our fucking street, yo. This guy could have come out of any European country, any one of them. This is what we produce. Not all the time, of course. There's a lot of kind people out there as well, and there's a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of good people and everything like that. But this is not. I would be really surprised if this wasn't more common than would surprise most people. Power does things to people, man. Even a little bit. Even a security guard.
Mm-hmm.
Even a security guard at a mall. You look at that guy.
Yeah.
Some people, you know, so on and so forth. Some people, you can see it in their eyes. They got this little bit of power that they feel like they can, you know, lord over you a little bit. They just get off on it, man. And, you know, people who are motivated by that, they're fucking monsters, yo. I'm telling you, like, this guy isn't unique. They're just a different kind of monster, maybe, but he's just maybe not exactly this dude. The people that are motivated by that kind of stuff, dude, they're this guy. That's him. They're monsters. That's my opinion. And that's how I feel about it. Not all of them. I'm sure there's good ones out there. But I you know.
Man, the first thing that came to my mind when he said monsters was like interdimensional beings. I think that's a good time to call the show is over, but the conversation never ends.
That is a true story.
I love you, my dude. Did I hit record even? I did. Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Good, because that would have totally sucked.
You're not small-minded, you're just taking the drugs. They erased you from love, so they made you give up. Fuck that, come back, strengthening your brain is a must. Time to heal. So let's tap into your aura, fix your gut flora, absorb more of this plethora of knowledge I have for ya. Empower yourself, and in turn you'll help others. Dispel the clutter inside of your mind. Your existence isn't absurd. Listen to the words, forget this contest, I don't need votes. The only reason to see them is for my ego. I'm the guy that's overlooked for exposing evil, but I have hope I'll reach you. I love you and won't leave you. They don't want me to win, I'll give the money to 25 homeless people.